Hello YouTubers, this is Seine Crossing Rush Defense with the M240b, aka the Billy Badass, and I done goofed. I grabbed claymores instead of C4, and I mess up because this is my favorite move. Run up these stairs, start dropping sandwiches, start dropping the rubble, laugh like a little girl, and I'm trying to get creative here. Can I maybe do this? I think it's glitched because this should definitely kill this filthy Moor. But I really don't think it would have knocked the rubble down anyway. But that could have been one of those moments of just creativity and genius that can be Battlefield 3, where people put claymores on Jeeps and drive-by stuff and be like, no, that's not going to work. And then it does. And then you have a good time. So I want to talk about something that's in my past that a lot of you guys have probably either played, and something that's going to be in my future because I'm kind of going back to my roots. And this Seine Crossing, this flawless round, is going to kind of be the backdrop here. So when I was a young lad, I played organized sports in school and in high school. I played in AAU, traveling leagues, basketball, and baseball. So my summer was shot. There's always basketball camps, and then there's always baseball ending up. So I didn't have much of a summer. I never got to play video games until I was about 18 or so, and I didn't get to do anything outside of those sports, really. I couldn't ski, couldn't snowboard. I could wakeboard at the cottage twice a year, 3 times a year, but I couldn't really do anything else because it all messed with the sports. So I graduate high school. A buddy of mine at work, when I was working at a joint when I was going to college, goes, hey man, I'm going down to this paintball field 20 miles from here. You want to come check it out? You can get a rental gun. So he starts telling me about paintball in a nutshell in about 4 or 5 minutes, and something sticks out even still to this day. He goes, you can shoot people and then they can get hurt. And then he lifts his shirt and his nipple has a nipple, like this big puffy little yellow circle that's beat up and bruised and purple on the outside. I'm like, that is badass. I'm absolutely sold. So in a couple days or the next weekend, we go down to the local paintball field, which is pretty big. It's speedball. It's an indoor place, right? Dirt on the ground and all the netting up. And I get a Tippmann 98. Meanwhile, he's got some crazy electronic gun that's just spewing paint, and I'm going tonk, 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 tonk. It's not too accurate compared to his. So the first 2 games are rough. You know, I'm trying to figure out these bunkers and how to play them and some of the call-outs of the local field because they change the field around every couple weeks, but there's a snake, there's a Dorito, there's tall boys. I mean, there's all kinds of different names. And I'm kind of lost, right? I get shot a couple times. I get out positioned. It's like, what the heck's going on? And then something clicks. About the 4th game in, we're playing 15-man. I make a flank and knock out 6 or 7 guys. It's like, oh man, you could be aggressive and be rewarded as long as you don't get seen out the break. So I'd always hoof my way to the snake. And over the next couple of weeks, I obsessed about the snake and tried to learn every little nuance about it, how to play. I looked at some of the better players in there, saw what they did from sitting at the sideline. I mean, I would literally sit out a game when a big player would come down and just watch what he did specifically with that snake in different situations. So I literally learned to master that thing, quote unquote, within about 3 or 4 weeks coming down to the paintball field with my buddy. So I actually buy a autococker after about 5 or 6 weeks, and I buy a freak front barrel kit, and I get some compressed air to run on it, and there's a pre-fire for you, and no e-trigger. So everybody's got the big e-triggers. I'm still running off the pneumatics, and I learned the other day that autocockers are now becoming high-end pumps because they don't really make parts for these things, and no one really works on them anymore. And anybody that owns an autococker or knows of it knows they had to be tinkered with, constantly oiled, worked on, because they had to shoot perfectly to be effective. If not, you're chopping paint, and the balls are flying sideways out of the barrel about 4 feet away. Just not effective at all. So I get my autococker and I start playing more frequently, going down on like a Wednesday night and playing on a Saturday. Lo and behold, big shot team comes out of Detroit and they're practicing the field. It's like, what the heck? Eric, the store owner, who used to work at Tippmann, used to be a pro, retired, says, hey, you want to watch these guys? These guys are good. So he puts a little bug in my ear. So I'm playing with these guys, against these guys. They're mixing it up because there's only like 8 of them down there. And the guy pulls me aside from the team, says, hey, Eric says you're a local boy. I'm like, yeah, I live 20 minutes away. He goes, how'd you like to sub for us in a 10-man tournament? We're down a guy on this field in about 3 or 4 weeks. It's like, what? Are you serious? right? He goes, well, we've seen what you've been doing. I think I can work with you and mold you into a better player. And if you can follow directions and listen, and I'm 18. I'm like, I will listen to whatever you say. You guys are fully sponsored with Angels and all this crazy stuff. I know who you are because of what Eric told me, and that's about it. He goes, we'd love to have you for the day. It's like, okay, sold. So I practiced with these guys a couple more times, get my head torn off, but at that point, the hooks were in me. I'm 2 autocockers later, full E-triggers, full setups, and I'm playing this sport, traveling around, playing in tournaments locally, and as far away as about 100 miles or so, having a blast. And the tournament, I didn't do bad. I only got eliminated about four out of our 12 matches, and we made it to the finals, and I believe they blew the other team out, if I remember. So it was kind of fun. So why am I talking about all this? Well, the autocockers, because they're a thing of the past, it seems like no one really works on them, and it's hard to come about parts. I'm retiring them and have a completely new setup coming to me over the next 10 to 14 days, including a couple high-def cameras that do 1080p at 30 FPS that are meant for the paintball field. One will go on the gun, one will go on my mask or my shoulder. I haven't decided yet. So I'm going to capture tons of footage of me getting my ass absolutely kicked at various fields, whether it be speedball, scenario, woods ball, whatever you have it, including capturing the audio, doing some unboxings and reviewing of hardware. So my final questions to you guys, because I enjoy your input, is what do you think about this being featured on the channel? Do you guys currently play airsoft or paintball right now? As always, if you enjoyed this, learned something today, don't forget about the old thumbs up and leave your input down below, YouTubers. See ya.